Hey there, it's me from my channel. You know, me. From the channel that I'm currently on. Okay? Yeah. So today I'm going to be talking about a serious subject, and that subject being the art of baby making. You know, the sloppy noise making, the hanky-panky dance in bed, or the other funny wiener dance in bed, I guess you could call it. I don't know, I'm not experiencing this. For many years now, we have made babies with other people to carry on our lineage. So it got me thinking, how do we manage this? What are the rules and how is it done? What is sex? So I started looking up sex, and it gave you the generic responses. It was very intriguing, but through my analysis of what the internet said, I never thought to touch or even go near a woman. But, get this, they can be indulged and create a spawn, a creature. It's weird. But I started putting two and two together on this, and I found that I was made this way through sex. It put me in a dark place, man. 'Cause I never thought that I too was once a squirmy little white tadpole. It's horrible. Once I have learned of these dark truths, I started seeing it everywhere. In the media, in music, on TV, and especially on Twitter. Like, it used to be that girls would post pictures of them in bikinis, and I thought, oh, they were going swimming. But just to find out, it's quite the contrary. They have a whole website where they do weird things. I soon found that people monetize them rubbing together on video, online, on websites. And, a lot of them were labeled like with a thing that said 18 plus. I didn't understand that at the time, so that's just foreshadowing for later events. But moving on these websites where people are rubbing together and making Minecraft zombie noises, I know it's odd, but it works. It got me going. I don't know what it was, but I was hooked, man. Like, it felt like my brain went somewhere else in my body. I just was like brain dead or something. And I could only think about watching this video and continue watching it. It got me gyrating. But it started getting scary when they started talking to me through the screen. Like, they'd say things like, "Oh, big boy, you got a chunky dong," or "jerk it, hot salami," and weird stuff like that. But they said it in a more explicit way. And I don't know what it was, but all I know is I shouldn't listen to it, because last time I listened to something that I was told to through the screen, I ended up burning shit, and I can't be doing that again. I don't think it's allowed. So I did some snooping on that line, "jerk it," and I did other lines, but the other lines were kind of hard to find stuff for. But that "jerk it" line seemed to have quite a lot of connotations, and it seemed that it applied to people that were considered usuals in the scene, So to officially get into the mind of the people in this industry, I found that I would start trying looking in the comments. And so in the comments it was kind of weird, because I found they were just kind of repeating and regurgitating the same similar stuff that was found in the videos that the people would say to you. So maybe that's what the video was responding to. But I also found things where people would post, like, math questions and, like, stuff for their homework. And then people would respond. So I guess, like, if you ever need help with math homework, always go to the comment sections in those videos. But, yeah, I didn't really find much on, the rules or anything like that. So I ended up going to Google to try and help me out on just, understanding this. So what Google said is, when you perform this coitus type thing, you need normally another person, okay? But I thought it had to be a boy and a girl. But I found out that you can do it with anybody, which opens up so many more opportunities, But the craziest thing I found is that there are these people that are so good at it that they can do it by themselves, and they're called like masturbationers or something like that. And one day I want to be like them, but I don't know if I could do it. But going through the other rules that Google had, there's like sets of categories, and if you follow certain rules, you fit into other categories. So I found this one category called like hentai or something like that, and basically it looks kind of like this show I used to watch as a kid called Dragon Ball, because like the art style looked similar, and they kind of made like similar noises, and so that was kind of cool. It's kind of nostalgic. I like that one. And then I found a British Broadcast Corp or whatever it's called, and it was weird to see them on there. Uh, but what's weird is that I couldn't find any form of like news or anything like that. It was just a bunch of naked, oiled up black guys, which I guess okay. So part of the legality rules I found is, as I referenced actually earlier, is that you need to be the ages 18 plus to partake in this type of stuff, which is interesting to find, especially reviewing that another rule is that if you don't have sex, you're considered what they call a virgin. Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but this is the first time I was hearing of it. And so, seeing as that you can legally have sex at age 18, and I am 20, that means I had 2 years to lose my virginity, or exactly 730 days, and yet I still haven't done it yet, which is very sad, and I really, really feel embarrassed and like a loser because my hymen is still currently intact. Which, this started to fucking rage inside me, okay? Because I don't know how someone gets to partake in such of actions. But, so I kept looking, okay? And I found this thing called prostitution, okay? Which I thought, oh, I have a chance. Back to the legality thing. Apparently, it's also illegal. Great. So, what I did find is that if you don't partake in sex, you can become what they call a nun. And basically, it's where they give you like free housing and a free job just from not having sex, which is pretty cool. Which actually brings me to the religious side I'm about to get into now. So, in the religion portion, it seemed like you had to be some sort of like elite masturbationer to be able to do the thing, okay? Because there's so many rules, it's crazy, dude. I don't know how people manage that. Okay? And one of the other rules is that you have to find an op. A person that's a completely different genetic field to be able to breed with. Which is freaking almost impossible. But it's not. It's not impossible. I found that out, because apparently a bunch of people have been doing it for, like, at least 1,000 years, or probably 2,000 or something, because that's like what the date is, or whatever. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. But that's just the beginning, because there's more. There's more, yes. Because then you have to marry that person, which means you can't do anything until then. And then on top of that, that means you have to get along with the person that's the inverse of you. I don't know how you freaking do that. Okay, so then, depending on how old-fashioned and religious it is, you can only do it in specific positions. Which is kind of weird, but, like, okay, they're trying to add some, like, precision in there, Okay? But then they come up with, like, super precise stuff, like, frame-perfect stuff, like, you can't miss your shot, otherwise you catch on fire. Or, if your seed hits the ground, you die. Like, I don't understand, like, what is the function of the seeds? I don't know if it's like with that saying where it's like you plant the seeds and it grows the fruit of the tenderloins or whatever. It's all very complicated. I don't even know if I can follow these rules. There's so much, but then also I don't know if I can follow the normie rules because again, it's so much. I can't pay attention to all these things. So I might be screwed. Which, if I am cooked, at least I learned some things. Like, I learned a few important rules. Like, I believe one was that, I believe they said this Pokemon Squirtle is actually just pee, which was weird lore to find out, but, I believe it. Another important lesson I learned is that this art of reproduction can be artistic and tasteful. Like, for instance, I saw this video about a man with a jar. So for this video, I ended up watching the video about 3 times to get a better analysis, and understand all the metaphors and the subtle storytelling. And so this is what I was able to get from it, okay? So the jar, it represents the expected norms of society and the world. And the guy sticks it up his ass and it shatters. And it starts dripping blood, representing the vulnerability of man. It was a beautiful video. And I recommend that other people watch it to get the message that they're trying to pass on. And, there's a whole video of, like, these artistic videos that people made of, like, sex. Like, for instance, there's another one. It's about, I think, a 1 cup and, like, 2 girls or something like that. And they gotta fight socialism or something. I don't remember it that well, but it was also a masterpiece. Maybe not as good as the jar one, but it was pretty close. So, in the end, even though reproduction is kind of gross, and it's just gross, sloppy, wet noises, I can still respect it. It's a beautiful piece of art, and it allowed me to realize a lot of stuff about myself, like the realization that there was no such thing as a stork. They're not even real birds. They're just a thing that was made up for kids. Yeah. And then also the idea that we are shot out of a hole into another hole just to be shot out of another hole. Like, if that's not, like, the government conspiracy, I don't know what is. So anyway, I hope that you learned something and took something away from this video and had fun learning alongside me. And if you remember your birth, can you sound off in the comments? Because I heard that's a thing that some people can do. Anyway, be sure to like and subscribe. This is my channel, and this is me on my channel. And I'm recording this video to put on my channel of me on my channel. So anyway, I want to beat 100 million people up.
Don't steal my song. Don't, you know that's wrong. Don't, I'm the one exception. Don't, enamored by my reflection.